Okay, so today is blog 2, post 2, and I will be discussing the racial identity theory. Well, I guess my take on the racial identity theory and how cultural mistrust is a core component of African American consciousness. Now, let's be exact. What I'm really going to discuss is how social media and the entertainment industry affects the racial identity and socialization of our children. I feel as though that in today's society, a society that's driven by social media trends and technology, it poses a great question on whether or not the old, or I guess the previously assumed assumption that teachers have a greater influence on adolescent racial socialization, racial identity than their parents do. I feel as though that social media should be or could be looked at as something that is more influential in children in early development than their teachers are. Why? Well, I believe that teachers, in a sense, I mean, yes, that's who a child spends the majority of their day with, from when they start school to when they finish, they're always with a teacher, 24/7. I mean, at least 8 hours out of the day. Well, social media is something that children are with literally 24/7. A child can be on their phone while they're in school, while they're home, while they're in the shower, in the bathroom. Like, literally, a child can be on their phone wherever they are. And there are very limited regulations on what a child can and cannot search while they're online. If a child wanted to look up, let's say they go on Instagram, they look up something that's called like beautiful people, you know, what will pop up for them? Well, I checked for myself to see what would pop up if you typed in on Instagram beautiful men or beautiful women, and all that shows up are a bunch of pictures of white individuals or individuals that fit that Euro-centric view of beauty. Now, for an African American child to see someone that looks like them, they have to type in beautiful ebony men or beautiful ebony women or beautiful black women or beautiful black men. Now, that brings you a full page full of people that look like them, but it poses an even greater question. Why is it that for a black child to see someone that looks like them, they have to separate themselves or categorize their type of beauty? Why is it that black beauty isn't just beauty? If you look up, as I said before, when I looked up just beautiful people, there were barely any black people on that page. It was primarily white individuals or individuals that just fit into the Eurocentrical mindset of what beauty is. And I feel that's not right, because then you'll have children growing up saying that, well, you're pretty to be a black person. I'm pretty because I'm pretty for a black individual. I'm not pretty for everyone else. You know what I mean? Another important aspect that I like to touch on is how social media or just the media in general can affect racial socialization. I feel as though that social media may socialize children before their parents actually have an opportunity to do that. Like when all of the police, I guess, murders on black people and people were killing black people, when all that took place, it I would say it raised awareness in black families that they say, okay, well, maybe I should talk to my child about how they should act towards police officers, or maybe I should teach my child, you know, that not everybody views them the same, that not everybody's going to treat them the same because of their skin color. And I feel like that socialization and that understanding of what it means to be a black person in America was kind of forced in some situations. If your parents didn't talk to you about that until those incidents occurred on social media, well, not social media, those incidents occurred in society, and your child was watching it on social media, so you felt compelled to tell them about it and you didn't feel compelled earlier, I mean, I feel as though social media kind of prematurely racially socialized the child, you know? Like, I mean, some children, like me, for example, I had my own instances of racism where I was from, where I was raised. I was raised in the South, in a very country and rural area. So, I mean, me experiencing racism and me having a natural distrust for police officers or something like that just came with me growing up. Nothing my parents really forced upon me, but it came from life experiences. And I grew up in a time that wasn't so, I guess, technologically advanced. We didn't have like social media like that. All we had was MySpace, and I really like it was a pain to use MySpace on your phone because you had like those old flip phones and stuff of that nature. But children nowadays don't have that. They have these high tech smartphones that literally are mini computers in their hands. They literally have the world at their fingertips. So I feel as though social media and just technology in general forces racial socialization to be taught, or I guess for children to be socialized earlier than their predecessors. You know, I feel as though I was racially socialized early on, but just simply because of where I was from, opposed to a child who may come from a very, I guess, diverse background, who live with white people and stuff like that, who didn't really come up in an area that was racist. But for them to be socialized or racially socialized, it would come from, I guess, their viewings of social media. You know, that they'll see the injustice that's going on in society and their parents will feel obligated to tell them or talk to them about it because of what's going on in the world around them, opposed to allowing them to live the life that they're living in the ignorance that they have because they're not experiencing racism or anything of that nature. And perhaps they have fallen into that Eurocentric mindset of beauty, you know. I will say that I feel as though in today's time frame, I mean, there has been an emergence of Black power. Black is beautiful. I feel as though it really kind of started up with when Obama was elected, and the fire is being fueled even more with the Trump administration. I feel as though we, as a people, feel as though we have to, I guess, empower ourselves in this time when we feel as though we're in a country that truly is not our own anymore. I mean, when you have the KKK marching in Charlottesville, Virginia, no more than a few months ago, I feel as though it speaks in volumes on the mindsets of white people and the precautions that Black people need to take to make sure that everybody that looks like us or is subjected to the same racial scrutiny that we are subjected to is empowered and influenced positively. So when I was reading the text and comparing it to, like, I guess today's society, I really just felt as though that, I mean, the text touched on social media, and that's really what I wanted to target and hone in on, because I feel as though that is a great influence on racial identity and racial socialization. So, I mean, hopefully my thoughts reach you all well. Goodbye.